All right.
Here we go.
I'm Dave,
I'm Kristen.
and this is Accidental Nonsense. Episode 3, I think, right?
Yeah, episode 3. I have it written down.
This is our third one. What's your bet on how many episodes we'll do?
I think we'll at least hit 5.
We'll hit 5. I think we'll hit 5 million.
For sure.
No, I think there would be a point where you just stop counting.
We might be here for a while. No, we're going to keep
All right,
the whole time.
So before we get into what we're going to talk about today, because we have a couple things to talk about from last podcast, we mentioned about I got a few CIA assassination attempts by Fidel Castro, but I wanted to share my first movie theater back to movie theater experience in like 2 years because of COVID. I haven't been to a movie theater. Have you been to one?
I have, but then I stopped going because the movie theaters here, I don't know how it's been the last few months, but they haven't been selling their food or like popcorn because of COVID. So
that's
I went
silly.
once, and then I haven't
There's
been
no point
back
in that
since.
So if anybody doesn't know, we mentioned it already, but Kristen lives in China, and I'm in the States, and so one day we're going to have a nice studio, and we're both going to be recording together.
Reunion.
In one camera, one shot.
One
For
headphone
what?
set.
One headphone set. We'll cut it right in half. No, so my story. Okay, so we went to see the Spider-Man No Way Home. It was a packed movie theater between Christmas and New Year's. And we go in there, and everything's fine. The movie starts playing. 30 minutes into the movie, the sound cuts off. Movie's still playing, but the sound's off. There's nothing going on in the in the thing. Like you can see Spider-Man talking, but you can't like hear him talking. And then we're like, "What the heck's going on? This isn't right." A lady stands up, goes to leave to tell somebody, and then the movie freezes, and then it just turns to black. Everything, the whole theater's black and dark. You can't see anything. And then some of the workers came in, started shouting about getting your own seat, or you have to find your seat. People were apparently sitting in the wrong spot. And so they're like, we're going to check everybody's ticket. So they walk around the whole theater checking everybody's ticket. You had to like find it on your phone, find it in your pocket. I don't know.
And this was
And
after
then
the
I'm
movie
looking around.
started.
After the movie started, right? So they paused the movie, checked everybody's ticket, and then I look around and I only see like 4 or 5 people stand up and switch seats. And so in my head, I'm like, why the heck didn't they just tell those like few people, hey, you need to switch seats because you're in the wrong seat? No, they decided to disturb the whole theater. And then we sit there for a while. They got all this situated, and then the movie starts back from the very beginning. And it goes about another like 20 minutes. And so we already watched it all, another 20 minutes, and then the sound cuts off again. It like freezes, and then it jumps forward to where Spider-Man's fighting the Green Goblin, and I don't even know how the Green Goblin got there. And so everybody's already like, it literally jumped forward to Spider-Man fighting, and not to put any spoilers, but everybody's already heard there's all these villains in it. So the Green Goblin's in it, and he's fighting all these guys. We don't know how the villains got there. We got the movie for free. They reimbursed all the ticket prices or whatever,
That's a plus.
but I didn't. But we missed the best part when all the bad guys showed up.
So, did you rewatch it?
I know I have to go rewatch it now because
Same
I have
theater.
I have to find out how the bad guys got there and whatnot. So that's my movie, my first movie theater experience since before COVID. So I'll never be back.
It's a good way to go back.
Well, I was down in Delaware watching it, so maybe it's just a Delaware thing. They take the seating arrangements really serious.
They really, yeah.
Well, they'll pause a movie.
You know, here, at least last time I went, it's been months since I've been because I was pretty bitter about no popcorn. But the popcorn they sell here is more like kettle corn. It's not butter popcorn, which is nice.
And
sometimes,
kettle corn's like the sweet popcorn?
Yeah, it's kind of like that, but it's like crusted and like, it's good. It's good if you want something sweet.
Crusty popcorn.
It's crusted.
Yeah, so I wanted to share that. I forgot to share it the last podcast, the last episode. So I shared it here first. I got a question for you before we get into the Fidel Castro stuff. Is the Great Wall of China, because you live in China, is it as big as it looks?
What do you mean as big as it looks? Yeah, it goes on
Well,
for
like,
miles
on
and
the
miles.
on the photos though, like the wall looks really big, and I
Like
imagine like you go
wide?
see it, and then yeah,
N-
and tall,
Tall.
and I imagine you go see it, and it's like, oh, I can like literally climb this
Does it
wall.
climb over it? No, it's
Yeah.
tall. Different spots are different and it's been eroded in some spots, but you definitely can't climb over it. Like there's stairs.
Okay, so that's what I was
Like
wondering.
you're not just gonna step over it. It's not
It's not like a Lego thing. It's not like you get there
it's not
well, 'cause we've
Jenga,
been
you
to
can
the
take one piece out and it all falls down.
That's what I'm saying. Because we've been to the Grand Canyon, and the Grand Canyon is one of those things where
It
the
lives up to
photos
the
don't do
height.
it justice. Yeah, well,
Yeah.
the photos, like, it's bigger than the photos. So that's what I was wondering about the Great Wall of
Well,
China.
it's probably similar to the photos, I'd say. It's still cool to see, obviously.
Right.
But it
Is it
is
worth
cool.
it?
You have to go to. It's cool to be at one of the locations where you can look out and see the wall going on the mountains, because you'll look like miles away probably and see like part of the wall up over the mountain. It's pretty cool.
Sweet. Is that your favorite place? So we're going to get into the other stuff, but China-wise, like, what is your favorite place that you've been to
So far,
as a tourist?
you can hear my dog drinking. So far, I would say there's a place called Zhangjiajie, and it's the Avatar Mountains is what people call it. And the Avatar Mountains in the movie, it's said that they were based off of these mountains here in China, and they're pretty cool.
So if people wanted to look that up, who are listening or watching or whatever, they could just look up, like, the Avatar
Yeah, they
Mountains,
can look up
China,
Avatar Mountains.
Okay.
Yeah,
and they'll know what you're talking about.
yeah. Those
Well,
are really
Google
cool.
will know what you're talking about.
Guilin is pretty cool. There's so many awesome places here. It's hard to put any, like, say what's the top. And I haven't even been
Right.
been all over yet, obviously. But yeah, there's lots of cool places.
Well, I thought I'd ask because maybe our viewers are interested on, like, where should I go if I go to China?
Yeah, eventually, hopefully, when they open up tourism again.
Yeah,
That'd be
well,
good.
they are for the
Come
Olympics,
on over.
right? Well, not tourism.
No
but
tourism.
all
The
the
athletes
can
can
go
come.
there.
Yeah, the athletes
Yeah.
can come.
So, all
But I
right.
guess they can't leave the stadium,
The Olympic Village.
Olympic Village. Let's get to
Yeah,
it.
that's what they call it. Let's get to it. All right, I'm going to start. All right, because I promised we'd. So I don't know if you knew. I went down a rabbit hole of. I was Googling conspiracy theories a long time. I normally, like, once a day I'll Google conspiracy theories, and then if you go down a rabbit hole of conspiracy theories, you'll find all sorts of stuff on the internet.
More rabbit holes.
And so, what?
What?
Nothing. All right. So so I went down and I was Googling, find all this stuff. I found an article about Fidel Castro, and the CIA apparently had a bunch of assassination attempts, or they tried to assassinate him. I don't know the complete accuracy of these, so you can fact check it if you're listening or whatever, I don't care.
We don't do
But
the
I
fact
found that
checking.
they
You
were-
do.
Yeah, we don't. We just report the news. All right. So the CIA. This is 7 most bizarre assassination attempts, and I'm going to read through them.
Only
'cause we got
for
all the
Fidel
time in the world
Castro,
tonight.
right?
Only for Fidel Castro. So they tried to kill Fidel Castro, and I'm going to read through them because we got all the time in the world. All right, the first one, and then at the end of it, Kristen, you can pick which one would you least want to die from, and which one would you choose to be your way of assassination if someone tried to kill you.
Cool.
Okay? All right, that's cool. So you got to listen.
I'm paying attention.
All right. So number 1 was the exploding cigar.
Nice.
And it says, perhaps the most famous attempt to kill Castro came in 1960 when the CIA poisoned a box of his favorite cigars.
Brutal.
And it says, a year after Castro seized power, the agency spiked the cigars with some toxin strong enough to kill anybody who put one in their mouth. The cigars were delivered to an unidentified person in 1961, according to the subcommittee, but it's unclear what happened to them after that. Needless to say, they were never chewed by Fidel Castro.
So
that's the
may have
first one.
chewed them.
Somebody chewed that exploding cigar and died.
So it didn't actually
But it
explode.
wasn't- No, I don't know why they call it an exploding cigar,
Because
but
it
it kills them.
explodes your life.
Maybe it explodes their insides. I don't know. I don't know what the toxin is.
Maybe something explodes.
But somebody chewed one of those or tried to smoke one of those and died. because it wasn't Castro,
You
and we
think
know
he
that
has
for a fact.
people tasting them for him?
Oh yeah, it's like those movies,
You know, like
if
you,
you're
you
or like
bite
you're
my
a king or
food
queen.
first.
Yeah, like if you're like a king or something, it's like you have to have somebody like taste your grapes before you eat your grapes.
Yeah, you don't just go eating grapes.
You just don't go eating grapes. All right, next one. Number 2, it says the Reluctant Cuban. Months earlier, at the end of President Eisenhower's term, the CIA used a series of middlemen to enlist 2 gangsters to help with Castro's removal. The agency was willing to pay $150,000, at least $1.2 million in today's money, according to the Church Committee's report. These mobsters were Sam something Giancana, the boss of the Chicago mob, and Santos Traficant, the head of the mob's Cuban operations. Both of them were members of the FBI's most wanted list.
So they paid these guys to try and, like, hitmen?
Yeah, and it says that the one mob member suggested that poison pills were more reliable than guns. So the CIA provided 6 pills of high lethal content to a cash-strapped Cuban official who had access to Castro. However, after several unsuccessful attempts, the Cuban got cold feet and the plan was abandoned, so it never actually went through with it.
What was he going to get out of it? Like,
money.
Just the money.
Yeah,
but they were wanted fugitives?
Yeah, they were on the FBI's most wanted list.
So were they still going to be in jail and have a bunch of money?
Yeah, I'm not sure how that all works, but would you take $1.2 million to try to kill somebody? I mean, I guess it depends on the person, right? Am I allowed to say that?
Can we say that
as a
online?
pastor, am I allowed to say that?
I'm not sure.
No, I will not take money to kill people. unless the money's right.
I guess it depends
all right.
too, right?
This one, I guess so. I don't know. I don't know why I'm sitting. I look like I'm sitting sideways, but that's okay. The audio version
on camera.
The audio version is going to be completely fine, but right now we're doing like the YouTube stuff. So, but that's okay. Okay, this one's my favorite. It's the painted seashell.
Seashell.
Wait, is this one? Undeterred, the CIA tried an even more elaborate plan in 1963. Intelligent officials thought they could use Castro's love of scuba diving to topple him. They planned to hide explosives inside a large conch shell and paint it with exotic colors to lure the attention of the ocean-loving communist. Like many others, this idea was disregarded as impractical, according to the committee's report. So someone came into a meeting with the CIA and said, hey... Someone came into a meeting with the CIA and said, I got a great idea. Let's paint a conch shell and then put it in the ocean.
Let's
and when
put
he
a bunch of glitter on it. He'll come to it.
It's like freaking Moana, that big old crab guy. That's what Castro was. So that one, they never actually went through with it because they probably were like, get this guy out of here.
That's a good one. That's a good one, though. That could have been the one.
It is, I mean, if they would have went through it, who never knows? He was I like how whoever wrote this article says ocean-loving communist. They make him sound so nice. All right.
You know, just your average.
Just your average ocean-loving communist. Next one is the fourth one is the contaminated diving suit. The same year, the CIA planned to contaminate one of Castro's diving suits with a fungus that would produce a chronic and debilitating skin disease. Let's see if there's more for that. Yeah, this plan was abandoned after Donovan gave Castro a different suit. Richard Helms, who would become CIA director, later called the plan cockeyed and said the suit never left the laboratory. They made the suit, though. They made the suit.
So no one put that suit on.
No, hopefully not. I don't know. Maybe they probably donated that suit to the Salvation Army thrift store, and somebody got in touch with it. Like, hey, we got to do something.
That sounds like a bad way to die. Get some nasty fungus.
Yeah, that is.
Or would that just be like a prank? Disease? Was that supposed to kill him?
Oh no, that was supposed to kill him.
Debilitating fungus.
Or debilitating. Maybe they were just trying to. I don't know. The CIA was wacky back in the 1960s. I'm sure they're way better now.
They let anything go. I don't know. They probably do similar stuff now.
All right. Well, later on in another conspiracy episode, there's some other crazy stuff we can talk about. Next one was, it says the deadly lover. If many of these attempts have the air of a James Bond film, Marita Lorenz was Castro's femme fatale. What is it?
Femme fatale?
Say that. Yeah, you got it. You're good at that. I can't. I good with words. I'm good with. All right, but it says Lorenz told Vanity Fair in 93 that while she was Castro's lover in late 1959, she was recruited as a contract agent for the CIA and tasked with assassinating the Cuban leader.
Was that it?
And then it says she was given 2 toxin pills. They loved toxin pills.
They need to get over these pills.
I know. So they wanted her to drop this poison in Castro's drink. So her story goes. That's what she says. Just one would kill him in 30 seconds, but she got cold feet. I knew the minute I saw the outline of Havana, I couldn't do it, she told Vanity Fair, describing her emotions on landing in the Cuban capital. So
it sounds like they need more reliable people. Is what
they need more reliable people, and they got to lay off like the poison, because I feel like that's, I don't know.
What are you going to do? Get someone. They need to make it secretive, though, or else wouldn't she be in danger? Yeah,
right, yeah. Well, that's true. But you got to think about, like, the conch shell. Anybody could have came in contact with that and blown up.
I know.
Anybody could. Someone tried on the suit. What was the first one? What was the
exploding cigar that someone probably ate?
The exploding cigar. Somebody smoked a cigar and died. No, they chewed on it and they died. All right. Number 6. Here we go again. The poisoned pen. Another CIA that was straight out of the James Bond was its plan to kill Castro using a hypodermic needle concealed within a pen. The needle would be so fine that the victim would not notice its insertion. Its report said the needle was to be rigged with poison and injected into Castro by a highly placed Cuban official who was in discussion with the CIA.
Interesting.
So that's that one.
I thought maybe they would put the needle in the little clicky part. Did they have clicky pens back then?
Maybe that's what they would have done. I don't know.
And boom.
Did they have clicky pens in 1960 whatever?
Yeah,
Maybe.
I don't know. When did those get invented?
It says with that, however, the Cuban official did not think much of the device and complained that surely the CIA could come up with something more sophisticated than that. The official also suffered bad timing. He was offered the pen on November 22nd, 1963, the date of John F. Kennedy's assassination. The event saw the agency withdraw its support of the attempt on Castro's life, and the official never took the pen to Cuba.
Wow.
So that pen's out there, too.
The click pen was invented in 1888 by John J. Loud.
Look at that. We are sharing so much knowledge and facts on this podcast. 1888, the clicky pen. Mm-hmm. Educating the masses. All right. This one is good. This is the last one. I think there was 10 on another article, but this is the last one I have for this article, and all we'll share on the podcast. It says, the psychedelic speech. Not all of the attempts were on Castro's life. America's intelligence services initially tried other methods to undermine the leader's public image as a charismatic strongman. In 1960, the CIA planned to sabotage Castro's speech by spraying his broadcasting studio with a chemical that would make him suffer similar hallucinations as if you were to take LSD. So
this was just to mess with him?
I guess that was just like, what is Castro doing? He's slurring his words and going
make him
crazy.
Unfit to lead, kind of.
Yeah, maybe that was like it. Maybe they're trying to be like this guy can't lead us. And then it also says that other plots included spiking the dictator's cigars, which I think we already read that, with a chemical that would disorient him, hoping he would smoke one before delivering one of his marathon performances or his big speeches.
So they quit trying to kill him, and they're like, all right, let's just mess him up a little.
Let's just make him sound like most U.S. presidents. That's basically like in the last couple of years. Let's just make him sound. Maybe that's what's going on these last couple of years.
Yeah, maybe. You know, that's something to look into.
Well, the CIA, we gotta get in touch with the CIA.
What's going on here?
Something's going on. All right. Don't count the last one because obviously I'd probably pick that one because I'm like, I don't gotta die.
Yeah.
But which one? If you had to pick, someone had to assassinate you, which one would you pick?
You know, all of these are pretty sucky. I think.
Well, dying's not fun.
Yeah, but they didn't come up with anything good. I think I would have to go with I would probably want to die by, I don't know, maybe the hitmen people. Because then it's not something stupid like someone shoved a pen in you. Like, that would sting.
Or like, I was just smoking a cigar.
Yeah, like you smoke your cigar and then boom. Like, I think poison it's kind of suck to die by poison. Although that might be a better death. Who knows?
Yeah.
If it's quicker.
I would probably pick the exploding conch shell.
Oh, that was my
'Cause I'm like,
second.
if I'm gonna die anyways, I might as well be like
Doing something
having a
you
nice
love.
time swimming in the ocean, because I'm also a ocean loving communist, you know. And,
As a
and so
fellow ocean-loving communist.
as a fellow ocean loving communist, here we go. Look. I hope you can hear that on the thing. Because I'm like, I don't know why they add those buttons, but I'm like, we have a studio audience here.
Yeah,
They're
we
all
do.
sitting here watching. We turned on the lights.
We just
and it
invite a
said,
few people
cheer.
in.
Oh, but yeah, you can blow me up with the conch shell. I'm all down with that.
Yeah.
I think the worst one would probably be the. I feel like the cigar one.
The
I mean, it's not an
contaminated
exploding cigar,
diving
but
suit sounds awful.
well, yeah, because then you're just living with this
Although
like
I
nasty
don't know
skin
if that's
disease.
supposed to kill him or just make him like really sick, but that would be sucky. Because then you go to dive and you're like all excited, and then you get this like nasty fungus or whatever.
Then you start itching.
Yeah.
Or whatever it is, and then you're in the ocean, and then you find the conch shell, and you go, and then it's just over. You got them both.
Yeah,
Like
that
he
would
could have got them both,
that would suck.
but so that
They
that's
both
what
got
I
him.
that's what
They
I
should
found.
have done them both at the same time.
Done them all at
If
the
the
same
suit
time.
doesn't get him, the conch shell will.
Have a cigar waiting on the boat just in case.
Yeah, seriously.
But that's what I found when I went down the rabbit hole, and I'm gonna have another conspiracy at some point. There was one other one I gotta find that I was like, I think it was like if you search conspiracy theories that actually came true, and that's really interesting.
Interesting.
And maybe we'll have a flat Earth. Like we should do a flat Earth episode, and we can invite like a flat earther on here to talk about it.
Let's get any flat
That'd be
earthers
fun.
out there. Hit us up.
Hit us up. We'll probably, I was just thinking though, we'll probably have like 1 or 2 viewers, and then I'm like, but this podcast is more of a hobby for like me, and I don't know if you feel that way. It's like I'll watch it back.
This is my life.
This is all you have. You have nothing else.
No.
You do have a nice light behind you though, portraying
I know,
your
you like
pictures
that?
there.
Yeah.
They're beautiful paintings.
I'll need to hit those up on the tour.
Well, I do.
When I
Yeah,
get
you
my
do
good
after.
one tour.
Yeah, after the one episode 3, you gotta tour that. You gotta show them a
Or
tour.
that.
So I don't know. Can you see my video? Did you get me this?
Yes.
Yeah. So you want to explain what this is? Kristen got me this from China. Oh, well, we're audio. Okay. If for those listening on audio, it's like 3 clay dudes that are like fishing, and they look like samurai guys.
They're like in traditional robes and stuff with long
Traditional
beards,
robe and has like a goatee. Check the YouTube
long
channel. You'll
beards,
see it. You'll see it.
long hair. Does it have the fishing pole still, or that get lost?
Well,
Wasn't there a fishing pole?
okay, so I don't know where the fishing pole went, but if you go to our Accidental Nonsense Show YouTube page, you can see.
Oh, there it is.
Well, can you see it? I got the fish. I don't have the pole.
I think maybe it broke.
But I got the fish, so I don't know what happened. Anyways, I don't know why. We're kind of going off on a tangent now. All right. You said you didn't find a conspiracy theory?
I didn't have a conspiracy theory, but there was something in the news that was interesting. And this is from a BBC article, but there was a Dutch tourist who was detained in Poland for giving the Nazi salute at the site of the former Auschwitz-Birkenau death camp.
I mean, that makes sense.
Supposedly, it does make sense. She claimed, because I guess they have a lot of Nazi propaganda like happens there sometimes.
Right.
They take it very seriously, obviously.
She was
claimed-
waving, wasn't she?
She was what?
Waving.
No.
She was just.
That would be awful. She claimed it was a bad joke. And that she was posing for a photograph that her husband was taking, and it was a bad joke. But supposedly, in 2013, there were 2 Turkish students who were each sentenced to up to 6 months in jail and suspended for 3 years for similar Nazi salutes. So, I don't know what would persuade you to do a joke like that at like a serious
right.
place like this. But just so everyone out there knows, that's not something to be joking around with.
Don't
and apparently, I think, if I'm recalling correctly, I think the article was saying that you can spend up to like a few years in jail plus like fines for things like this there. But that was an interesting article I read. Yeah.
Well, I could be wrong, but I'm pretty sure in like Germany, like any like form of like Nazi stuff is like it's illegal. Like
Yeah,
you
wouldn't
can't
be
have
surprising.
anything.
Yeah.
Right. And which makes sense. Like all that stuff goes to. And that's why people need to like it's just like it's so like you just do these like idiotic things
Yeah.
and then like even if you're like a tourist or like you're traveling and you don't know and it's just like a stupid joke.
Right.
Even though like I don't even know why that would be like considered a joke. But
Well, and
it's
you
like
think,
the next thing you know.
like, I get you do stupid stuff sometimes, and like you're not thinking, you're like, oh, let me do something stupid. But at places like that, typically the atmosphere feels so like heavy and sad. I don't know what would make
Right.
you be like, let's joke about this.
Yeah, yeah. Well, no, that's like we went to when we visited DC, they had a Holocaust museum there, and I think that's what it was called.
Yeah.
But they had like all that stuff, like a big walk through everything, and it was like even just going through there, it was like super intense.
Right.
And like in any like normal person's brain, you wouldn't even think to do anything like that.
Yeah, you're not making jokes and laughing.
Right. When you were reading that, I should have put the boo. Dude, I don't think I can put a boo sound like boo.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, I can't. Oh, that would have
They
been
don't
good.
have a boo.
No, that's messed up. I need to talk. You know, I'm gonna talk to my contacts.
Well, I do
and see
have a
what-
would you rather.
Yes, share it. 'Cause
Would
we're
you
getting
rather
we're trying to keep these to 30 minutes. So
have
go.
hairy palms or hairy kneecaps?
Kneecaps, 100%.
Yeah, same. That one might be.
You don't even have to think. You can cover your kneecaps unless it's the summer.
I mean, maybe you live somewhere really cold and hairy palms would be beneficial.
why would hairy palms be beneficial if it's cold? Most of the time, if you're
'Cause
cold,
you-
you just close your
You
fist.
can go like
Well, you
this.
can close your. Well, you can use them as like cover your
Oh,
face.
earmuffs.
Earmuffs. So your ears will be nice and warm, but
Yeah.
your like hands are still frozen.
Your
the
fingers
back of your
freeze
hands.
off, but you still have your hairy palm.
You got frostbite on the top of your fingers, but underneath you're fine. Oh my gosh, yeah. I would. I mean, just mainly because like I wear probably sweatpants and stuff more often than anything else. So
Yeah, and you can always
You
cover
got-
up the hairy knees.
you can always.
But
cover
it's
up
like
the
a
hairy
Santa
knees.
Claus situation, like the Tim Allen one. Like if you
It
shave
grows
them,
back
it just
super
comes
fast.
back right back. So you
Right.
can't really.
Yeah. So you just deal with the knees.
Yeah, there's no wax in the
How long does it grow? How long does it grow though?
Maybe like here, like
So it has a stopping point.
yeah, it doesn't keep going.
Well, what about once we post these on audio? You just maybe here,
Maybe about
probably like 2 inches.
2 or 3 inches.
2 or 3. You got to remember there might be people that are literally just listening to
We
this.
got you. We got you.
So-
Eventually.
Yeah, eventually. But I mean, just posting to YouTube right now is the easiest thing to do right now. So, okay.
All right.
We are almost done here. We're trying to keep these at 30 minutes. We're doing good. And hold up, I have one more question. Okay, wait, where's it at? What is it called when genre? If someone made a movie about your life, what genre would it be in? Like just everything that's happened to you in your life right now. What would be the
snap.
genre?
Maybe one of those like drama comedies. You know, dramedy.
A dramedy.
Yeah. Like kind of intense, but there's still lots of funny stuff. I wouldn't want it to be
Right.
too serious.
Right.
Still gotta
Mine would be a documentary.
Oh.
No, is that a genre though? I mean, I think it is, right? I mean,
Yeah,
if it's about someone's life.
That's a better answer than mine. That makes sense.
I mean, that's literally what it's about.
That's
No,
what it would be.
I would probably just choose comedy because I mean, I feel like I don't know what else. What other genre it would be. I mean, it wouldn't be an
Do you want a
action one.
thriller, action.
But my life hasn't been very thrilling. Until now.
Not
this
thrilling.
podcast is thrilling.
I don't know.
What's the spiciest food you've ever eaten?
Oh, there is the spice that they have here. I think it's Sichuan peppers. I know they have others too, but there's a certain spice that they'll put on like their meats and things, all sorts of stuff. Anyways, in their soups, it is incredibly spicy. You take like a little pinch of it,
And you're dead. You're crying.
You are done. They should have given that to Fidel Castro.
They should just give them this Chinese spice. No, mine would probably. I think the spiciest thing I've ever had is like the atomic wing things from Buffalo Wild Wings or Quaker Steak and Lube, whatever it was.
Oh yeah.
That was like the spicy. I don't like spicy food, so I like barely ever eat spicy food.
I like it now, but it can't be so spicy that I'm sweating.
Right. Or that you're miserable eating it. So.
Yes.
All right. 30 minutes exactly, right on the button.
Mm-hmm.
We're gonna wrap this show up. We'll have another episode 4 coming soon. Eventually, but I think we should talk about, just to end it here, there is 2 times talk about movies that we've cried at or watching that made us cry.
Yeah.
I've only had 2 movies that have made me cry while watching
I have
them.
a good one.
And we'll talk about them next episode or the episode that, I don't know, we throw a bunch of stuff in these episodes and we'll get to it.
You'll never know what you're going to get.
You'll never know what you're going to get. You got anything else to share?
No way.
All right, that's it. And that is the episode 3 of Accidental Nonsense. It is a wrap.
See ya.